giving me your time today to speak about this wonderful film, The Rhythm and the Blues. I had the pleasure of watching it this morning. I went into it not knowing what to expect, but came out of it not only loving your performance, loving the story, but then I'm like, wait a minute, this is based on a real life musician that I've never heard of. Let me do some more research. So I love that this movie moved me to want to learn more about this real life musician that you portray in this film. So I want to kick things off by asking you just that, sir. What attracted you to portraying real life musician Eddie Taylor in The Rhythm and the Blues?
You said it right there. When Daryl came to me, he said, I want to tell stories of Chicago blues artists that people don't know about that had such a huge influence on the blues scene. And he told me about Eddie Taylor, and I actually met his family and all. And I was like, yeah, let's get down. Let's do this.
How did you approach, I mean, outside of speaking to his family, how did you approach embodying this historical figure? What kind of research did you undertake for the role?
Well, listen to his songs, and then also Daryl Pitts, the director and producer, had a great deal of knowledge about him. So I would pick his brain constantly, and he kept feeding me a bunch of knowledge on Eddie, and and then trying to make it on a reasonable budget that we had. It wasn't a big budget movie, so yeah, just basically, Daryl really gave me a lot of information on him, and then basically what I do is I breathe life into a character that's from the words that are on the page.
So when you were unpacking and dissecting this information that you received about Taylor, what aspects about his life and his music did you find most compelling or inspiring?
Well, what I found most compelling is the heartbreak. The idea that someone so talented, like so many other artists, were just ripped off and taken advantage of and not given their just due. I mean, it's still happening today. But back then, I mean, nowhere for them to turn. It's a shame. And especially for a genre like the blues and the migration from the South to Chicago, so many artists made that, migration and created a sound that has gone on forever and that's influenced so many artists, even, some of today's greatest artists like, Gary Clark Jr. and on and on. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I found most intriguing about it was the heartbreak, the realization that here's someone that people just don't know about, and I love what you said. It was such a great opening. It's like that's everything I want. It's like, oh God, made me want to know more about this guy, and that's exactly what I hope people, will take from the film.
What themes are explored in this movie that you think resonate with today's audience?
Well, I think the idea of a talented man, especially a talented black man, you know, um, having to fight just to prove his talent, have his fight for have to be paid for his talent. I think that's something that unfortunately goes on today, and will resonate in people's minds as we all fight for it. I mean, me as an artist, as an actor, as a singer, I'm constantly trying to make sure that I'm giving my just due. You know, and when you look at a situation like this, and I don't want to give away the movie, but when he has a chance to maybe get a little bit of money, you know, he has to make a decision here, and I think based on the screenings I saw that goes over very well with the audience.
Wait, I'm glad you said that because that was one of my questions. In that scene, again, without giving it away, I remember screaming at my laptop, "Don't do it, Eddie! Don't do it!" So I'm wondering. I was going to ask you, are there any particular moments or scenes in the film that you found especially memorable or impactful? But it sounds like that's one of the scenes for you. Are there others?
It's very strange. People ask me that question a lot about my work, and you know, I don't I don't really approach things in that way where I think about, oh, I love doing this scene. To me, it's I just embody the character, and it's all one big scene to me. It's just the whole thing. I mean, I can say sometimes I'll see things in the movie that I really like I do like the ending. You know, um, and for whatever for reasons you'll see when you see the film. But yeah, for the most part, I basically take it all as one big scene to me. I approach it all as one project, and I don't really try to break it up into different scenes, especially if I'm the lead in the movie.
Is what aspects of bringing this character's life to the screen paralleled your own journey into the entertainment business?
Wow, that parallel my own journey. Hmm. Hmm. I don't really think that it parallels my journey much, which I'm happy to say. But yeah, I don't really think it parallels my journey that much. And I have to tell you that for the most part, I've played roles that, many times that don't parallel my life in any way, shape, and form. And I love that. It's one of the things that makes me want to take on a character because I'm like, wow, this is so far from me. This is like nothing that I ever have to go through. I want to explore this. I want to be this person and know what this feels like. You know, Playing different characters and going through a mirror of emotions and things like that that I personally don't have to go through is one of the things that attracts me about acting.
On that note, speaking of your previous work, I mean, how would you compare the experience on this film to your other projects that are, focus or highlight famous artists that we know of, the Five Heartbeats, the Temptations, the Little Richard biopic. How do you compare this project with those experiences on those projects?
There's no comparison. There's no comparison. None at all. Yeah, none at all. I mean, it's just, you're talking about, if one, you're talking about the other movies, you're talking about their studio movies, in which, I spent, you know, 7 weeks, 6 days a week in rehearsals, you know? Yeah, and it's a totally different thing. There's no comparison. One of the things I do love about this film is that there is a strong female character in it, and it's not just about Eddie himself, and I love that. And so that's one of the aspects I thought of the film that I thought was done very well was the inclusion of having a strong female character in there, and that played a big part in his life. And so I just wanted to mention that. As far as the African Film Festival, 31st African Film Festival, I think it's fantastic. I've attended the African Film Festival many years, and I've often said to myself, "Wow, I would like for them to include all Africans, including African Americans." And so to see a film that's rooted in Chicago and in America about a Black artist included in the African Film Festival with so many films that are basically the African diaspora and Africa. I think it's great because it's well rounded. I mean, let's be realistic. This film festival is taking place in New York City. And so I think that we should see all aspects of African life, including African American life.
What message or legacy do you hope The Rhythm and the Blues leaves with viewers?
What I hope is that they want more. And I mean, not necessarily from Eddie Taylor, but from other legendary blues artists that I think that Daryl would love to tell a story about. Daryl's a native Chicagoan, and he's very much loves to tell Chicago stories. And so I hope that they enjoyed this movie and want to see more movies like this about other artists that they don't know about that has such a big influence, on not just the blues, but on rock and other things, because so much of their music was stolen and
Absolutely.
done by, European artists and otherwise. And so, I think that let's face it, we need to tell our stories, you know, and this is just one of the stories that people don't know about. There's a lot of them that we know about that we haven't told yet, but we need to dig deeper and start telling stories about the people we don't know.
Amen to that. And you know what? As a fellow Chicagoan, I'm honored to share this story especially about an unknown blues musician. My father was a blues musician, so this tugs at my heart. So I'm glad I can share this, and thank you for speaking with me about this today, Leon. I'm so honored to have spoken to you today.
Without a doubt. And yeah, and now that I know you from Chicago, you probably watched that show I'm about to be on, The Shy, huh?
Absolutely, my whole family watches the show.
No, it's just a reoccurring character. I came on there and did my thing for a few episodes and, you know, kept things lively. I've known Lynn Whitfield for a while, and she's a fantastic actress. So when they wanted somebody to spar with her, I was like, oh yeah, sure, not a problem. and and I love doing good work. I love working with good actors and good actresses and good writing and stuff. And being part of a show that has been this successful, that is Black, and not just Black, but female driven, you know. And because if you know anything about me, I'm a huge supporter of sisters, because sisters have been a huge supporter of me. So anytime I get a chance to do something with them, for them, I'm there. I mean, come on, my birthday is International Women's Day. Come on.
So lastly, any other projects you have on the horizon that we should be keeping our eye out for that you can kind of tease us about?
Yeah, I can tease you, but I can't tell you much about it. I just got back from London starring in a Christmas movie, a very unique Christmas movie. Um, and I hope to be able to tell you more about it soon, as soon as they
I
announce
hope
it.
so too.
Yeah,
I
but
hope we can regroup down the line and talk about this. Let me ask you, is it an all Black Christmas movie?
is it all Black Christmas movie? I would say it's mostly Black.
Okay.
Black director, Black producer, Black star, and yeah, it's a very interesting story, and I'm very happy to be able to tell people about it when I'm allowed to.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, Leon, I will not take more of your time, sir. I really appreciate you giving me your time today. Thank you so much for speaking to me. And I'm looking forward to sharing this conversation with my readers.
Yes, definitely, without a doubt. Thank you.